Hello everyone, this is Pastor Max. How are you? We are in the 4th week of Lent, and we have passed the middle of the Lenten season. So how are you holding up so far? I know it's not easy, but let's keep up this good discipline. We are meditating Lent with Tsh Oxenreider's Bitter and Sweet. And this series is recorded in English only and uploaded every Tuesday mornings. And on Sundays, I'll go more deeply with the selected words and the art pieces and Sunday celebration of the word in English and in Korean also. So let's continue to this week's reading. So today we'll read Week 4, Day 2, Tuesday. Day 2, Tuesday. What exactly did Jesus mean when he told his disciples, "You will always have the poor with you"? To our modern ears, this sounds like a somewhat harsh statement from the Son of God. He probably did not mean because poverty will never end. Don't even bother trying to assuage its burdensome impact, or your efforts to help those in need will prove fruitless no matter what you do. What then did he mean? You will always have the poor is only half of Jesus' statement. His full statement to his disciples was, "For you always have the poor with you, but you will not always have me. By pouring this ointment on my body, she has prepared me for burial." Matthew 26:11-12. Jesus was responding to his disciples' rebuke of the woman who poured out expensive oil on his head as her act of worship of him. From the disciples' admittedly understandable perspective, her jar of oil could have been sold and its proceeds given to the poor. When Jesus spoke of the presence of the poor and his own presence or absence, he was speaking to the disciples about his crucifixion set for the next day. The woman's act of worship was a means of God's preparation for his sacrifice. Jesus then wasn't declaring a life sentence to the poor. He was instructing his followers to conceive of their best actions, small or big, as a means of worshiping him. Giving our best to Christ, whether pouring out our best resources for the poor or tapping into our God-given talents to worship our Maker, is an act of devotion to his divinity. Furthermore, as Jewish people, his disciples would have known that Jesus was quoting the Old Testament. Deuteronomy 15:11 says, "There will never cease to be poor in the land. Therefore I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy, and to the poor in your land." Jesus was reminding them of the well-known admonition that precisely because there are always people in need, we should always find opportunities to give. When we surrender to greed, we deprive ourselves of the opportunity to give to others, and there are always others who would be blessed by our giving. It's not only a loss for them, it's a loss for us. We miss the chance to partner with Christ as one of his disciples. God calls us to the virtue of charity not only because others need what we have in abundance, but also because it's good for our souls. Now let us read 1 John chapter 3, verses 16 to 17. We know love by this, that he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for one another. How does God's love abide in anyone who has the world's goods and sees a brother or sister in need and yet refuses help? Let us now ask ourselves, how would giving specifically benefit the current state of my soul? Let us think about that. Now let us pray. Lord, give me a generous heart so that others may know your love and compassion. And this week, we will listen to Nina Simone's Near Blessed Lord. I'll give you the link, and you may listen to this. This week's art piece is A Place at the Table by Scott Erickson. He's a contemporary artist, but doesn't want his piece on any media. So I'll also give you the link to look at the painting. So please have your contemplation time with this painting and the song. Have a blessed moment of meditation.